Hello from the French countryside in the middle of the vineyards. I thought, how fun would this be? Like, look at this view. I thought, how fun would that be to film a little video here? I think one of the most powerful skills we can have as an entrepreneur is knowing how to adapt and how to be innovative, and knowing how and when to pivot in your business, especially when you have maybe mastered a certain strategy and you know that it works and it's gotten you results in the past. But what happens when your messaging shifts, or what happens when you start to grow and evolve and the ways that you were doing things no longer feel aligned, or they're no longer getting the same results? And this is something I experienced in my business this year, and I'm really committed on this YouTube channel to just peel back the curtain and share more and more of my own journey, because that is the point of storytelling. It's to lead the path, right? It's to give a clear path and help others, and hopefully different parts of the story will resonate and light up the path for others. It doesn't mean it's the only way, but it is a start. Have you ever worked with a coach or mentor and they swore by this proven strategy, and you go through the learning curve and you do all of the things and you create the funnel, the email sequence, the social media strategy, like whatever it is, and they swear that this, if you do it right, it'll get you results. And so you do it and you don't get the same results, because every business is different. The heartbeat, the mission behind every business is different. Every audience, like you're starting at a different audience point. Like someone who has a very highly engaged audience could teach a strategy that works well for them, but might not work with someone who doesn't have an engaged audience. And so I think it's so important that when we're learning certain strategies, that we're understanding what is our starting point. And also, like, what is a strategy that feels aligned? What expands your nervous system? What lights you up? What like amplifies your energy, right? Now, as a Stallion Leo and Moon Aries, like I'm very, do things my way. I'm very driven. I get a lot of ideas that come down, and usually I just like run with the thing. But this year I found myself, I had a really, really great start to the year. I doubled my sales through high ticket referrals. And then I kind of took this step back and was like, oh my gosh, I haven't been building my audience. I haven't been doing, the things I used to do in my business. And when I kind of came back into that space and was like, okay, I'm ready to create content again. I'm ready to show up and connect with new people, new faces, new amazing female entrepreneurs with heart-led missions, the witchy women, the mystical women. And what I realized is that I kind of went into this phase of like self-doubt, because I realized that the things I was doing before were no longer creating the same results. So in the month of July, I had I think it was like my highest cash month so far in 2025, and things were going amazing. And then I had this weird confidence dip, because I was finally getting ready to launch for the first time in almost a year, to go back to traditional launching, which, if you've heard my story, I've talked extensively this year around why I stopped launching in my business and was doing things differently. And so there was a lot of like heavy energy around it. And so things really bombed for me this summer, and it like shattered my confidence. Okay, let me just be real with you guys. And so I found myself looking for someone to tell me what I was doing wrong. I started to outsource my power. I started to look for answers outside of myself. And I had two experiences this summer that, while I feel like they shattered me, at the same time, it's the foundation for a new way of being. So I think that having a content audit by someone who doesn't know you or your brand is not a good idea. And I'm going to tell you why. Because some people might argue, yeah, well, if someone who just lands on your page can't understand who you are or what you serve within 30 seconds, then they're going to click off. And obviously there's some truth to that. But what I'm looking to do is build long-term relationships, like people who want to be in my space, take the time to get to know me, those intimate relationships, and really understanding that building a brand it's just not one post. It's the entire ecosystem and evolution, and kind of like that stacking of every day showing up, sharing a piece of yourself, part of your story. Did we hear this church bell? Like, hello. I'm in Burgundy, the French countryside in the vineyards. Like, how French is this? And so I found myself getting these content messaging reviews, and there was some good. There's definitely some great notes I took away from it. But overall, what I felt is like misunderstood and super triggered, because some of the strategies that they were insisting work, for example, like, I don't like doing carousel posts because I'm ADHD and it takes me too long to make them. I'd rather literally turn on my camera and start speaking, because I have a defined throat and like I'm a verbal, I don't know, processor, communicator, right? Like, I find that people don't resonate with my written word. And yet I'm always told I'm a great writer. But regardless, I don't know why I just picked up these grapes. Just like here. And so sometimes people swear by these strategies, but they don't take into account your unique expression style. And that's why you have to come back home to yourself and the way that you want to run a business. And what happens when we take feedback from people who don't fully see you, know you, is that they give you really surface level feedback, and that can perpetuate a feeling of being misunderstood, or like, oh, I'm just not doing it good enough, or I'm not doing it right. Like, what else do I have to learn, right? And it's that marketing wound that we all have of like, I'm not good enough, I need to learn more. Someone knows something else, like someone knows this secret that I don't know, or it can reinforce that belief that things just don't work for me that way because there's something inherently wrong with me. This is like one of the biggest marketing wounds I see that is not talked about, because when people are really adamant around teaching a proven system, or even like spiritual law, spiritual principles, it's just, life is not black and white. Life is nuanced, and things resonate differently and at different times in our life. Like, maybe you're not ready to learn that lesson yet, Here's where I want to bring it back home, because feedback that resonates and lands in your body is truth. If you hear feedback and you feel resistance, that doesn't mean you're not disciplined. That doesn't mean you're not open to trying other things or something wrong with your mindset. Truth lands in our body and we feel it. And so I actually reached back out to my mentor, who I've worked on and off with since 2020. And within like a 15-minute conversation, we were able to pinpoint like what was not working. And I loved how she called this out, because she said, Brittany, you are like artistic and esoteric and so advanced, and you're not speaking to the people at the level that you're at. You keep bringing it back down to the ABCs of business and storytelling, and that's not your zone of genius. And I was like, oh my God, she's right? And it didn't trigger me. Like, it was the truth. It landed as truth. And more than anything, it reiterated to me that, one, having a long-term mentor who really truly sees you, who knows your blind spots, who knows your shadows, who knows your brand in depth, like, that's where you're going to get the most amount of growth and evolution. And so to not cherry pick different places of getting support, like, of course you can work with many different people, but if you find that you're not finding the strategies that are really landing or getting you the results, starting by working long-term with a mentor who's going to support you through that and bring out the best of you and help expand you, like, that is the place to be. And this is also how I feel in my business moving forward, is not offering one-off sessions anymore, because yeah, I can have quick intuitive downloads on clients for sure, but like, I want to walk the path with you as you're growing your business, as you're building your mission. And so I'm curious if this resonates with you, if you have been doing non-aligned strategies that are not working for you, but someone swore that they would work. Where have you been giving your power away and not trusting? Like, it doesn't matter if, oh my God, what is that? It doesn't matter if you are not an expert in marketing. You are an expert in you. You are an expert in whatever it is that you teach, and whatever way that you download and channel the most aligned way for you to show up. And the strategies is going to be the strategy that works. Like, you don't need someone else to tell you a strategy. I think that as entrepreneurs, we need to reclaim our power. We need to trust that, like, if we're an entrepreneur, it's because we don't want a job. We don't want to be told what to do. We want to be innovators. We want to be rebels. We want to, break barriers and transcend everything that we've been taught. And at least that's the space, the realm that I live in, and the women that I want to call it in my space. So with that being said, you know what I need? I need like a glass of wine. I need like a glass of wine. That would make this like the perfect video. I hope that this has landed with you. Share in the comments below, reach out to me, and if you want to learn more about how to tell magnetic stories, how to be truthful in the way that you're sharing your journey in your business, especially if you're a personal brand and your personal experience is such a foundation of what you're teaching, which I think is the case for a lot of us, then I want to invite you to my program, Story Codes. Now, there is a program only option, but the cool thing is that we have a live workshop call on September 30th. So get the program, start diving into the modules, and then I will see you on September 30th for our live call.